Hello and welcome to another episode, guys, of Brain 10, episode 114, where we brainstorm 10 ideas twice per week on how to grow small businesses. Today is episode, like I said, 114. We're doing 10 phrases you should stop saying in your client emails or stop using in your client emails. I know this was one that I should have probably, or we should have done probably about 8 or 9 months ago, because I would have been completely honed in on this. It's going to be a very good episode, and I think that there's still a few things that I'm using today that I can fix. So, my name is Aaron.
My name is Christian.
And my name is Franklin.
All right, now we got the host out of the way. I think Christian has our number one. If you want to go ahead and knock that out, Christian.
Yep. So the number one phrase is, the problem is ... So it could be like, the problem is your website navigation is broken, for example. So these issues and problems, they always appear and arise for any project. I mean, that's inevitable. But the thing is that you need to fix the fact that you're saying the problem is. When you talk like that, like the problem is, it makes it sound like alarming and at the same time a little bit vague. So you should try to explain the challenge with a known solution. So instead of saying the problem is your website navigation is broken, you can say something, we're working on fixing some coding issues with your website navigation, which sounds like you have a better handle of what's going on.
Yeah, I didn't really look at it like that, but I can see from another perspective that they don't want to know that there's a problem, or they want to know about the problem, but they don't want to like dwell on the problem, I guess.
Yeah.
So, very good. All right, my number two is, there's nothing I can do. You may not have something that you can do, but I would not say that. There's alternatives to, well, we can try this, or we can at least point you in the right direction, or do something. There's always something that you can do. But whenever you say that there's nothing I can do, it just kind of, I feel like it takes away your credibility, and makes them kind of distrust you for your ability, because they're hiring you or working with you for a reason, and that kind of takes away the trust.
Mm-hmm.
I completely and totally agree. I think we said that before in our in Brain 10 when we were talking about like confidence level, and also not actually like creating an issue. And there's nothing I can do without offering a solution is definitely one of those things. So that leads me into another confidence question that actually adds into like this. And that is, do you think ... Maybe like basically I'm saying like instead of actually having a direct answer and a direct solution to the particular issue that you're going into, you actually can heighten the situation by saying, there's really nothing that I can do, but do you think we could possibly do X, Y, and Z? And like that like really just takes all the confidence out of your statement whenever you're talking, as far as like you actually knowing what you're doing, and it puts the ballpark into the client's hand. Now you might be able to use do you think in an email in some other form, but in general you don't want to say do you think anytime, because like I said, it puts the ball into your client's hands and allows them to make the decision versus you making the decision.
Right. That's a really good point.
Yep.
If they were going to make the decision, then they wouldn't be hiring you. They called you for a reason, or like want to work with you for a reason.
Phrase number 4 would be, to be honest with you, ... So this phrase basically gives off the impression that you weren't being honest before with them. So you were, this whole time you're hiding your true opinions. So just don't use it. It gives you that, again, like it's a candid remark, and it's something that, you know, people just use sometimes without thinking. It's kind of like a filler text. So to be honest, just completely X it out. There's really no substitute. Just get rid of that phrase and don't use it.
Right. No. There's a time to be saying that, but probably not in a business email because it can be read completely wrong.
Yeah.
Number 5, I'll try. There's a lot of different phrases that I can think of that would substitute that. But if they're saying, hey, we need to get this website launched by tomorrow, unless it's just completely ridiculous, okay, I'll do my best. I'll try. Clients do not want to hear that. They want stuff to be done, and they want it to be done well and, on time. So you could respond instead of saying, I'll try, but, this is what we have going forward. This is the time frame. So, this is what we can expect. And so, give them some ground or some feedback of where we're at and let them know if it's actually feasible instead of, I don't know, I'll try to do my best, but it may or may not happen.
Yep, completely and totally agree. Well, I'll try. What does that mean? We wouldn't like it if our client said, well, I'll try to put that check in the mail next week.
Right.
All right, so my next one is, well, maybe, because that phrase can be read a couple of different ways wrong. Well, maybe if you had told me that before, well, maybe we can do this next time. They're just complete and utter uncertainty in those two words being put together. And basically, again, it makes your client lose confidence in everything that you're about to say thereafter. Well, maybe we could do this, this, and this, and that will probably work. Because they're only thing that can actually flow into the rest of anything that comes after, well, maybe, are all uncertainty words. Like, right. Well, maybe we could possibly, like all 4 of those words, it just sounds horrible altogether.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, you need to be saying more actionable things. And that's kind of like my number 7, which it's a very vague phrase, and it's let's touch base. And since we started networking, we've been hearing this phrase a lot more. And I mean, everyone uses it. It's just the number 1 phrase that people love to use, emails, networking, and everything. But the biggest issue with this is that it's just too vague. It doesn't give you anything. It's a filler phrase. And you really want to switch that out with something more actionable. So instead of saying, let's touch base, let's meet on Friday to discuss the latest website edits. So actually give them, the date that you're gonna meet them and what exactly you're gonna be talking about whenever you guys meet. So let's touch base, completely swap it out, and make it a more actionable statement.
Oh yeah, I used to use that a lot. So
I actually used that phrase today verbally. Yeah. So thanks.
No problem.
I'll stop using it today.
All right. Well, this one kind of fits into yours. Like, I completely understand how you feel, Franklin. But my number 8 phrase is, I completely understand how you feel. This doesn't really help the situation. They're not necessarily looking for empathy. And even then, it kind of just demeans the fact of what their problem is. You make it seem like, oh, I know what you're feeling, so it's okay. Just don't worry about feeling that way, or it's all fine. But in their reality, it's a little bit bigger of a deal, or maybe so they may take offense to that.
Absolutely. I completely understand how you feel. That's probably the worst thing that you can say to anybody over the telephone whenever you're talking about their mortgage, or replying to them in an email when there isn't any type of immediate response. It just gives them time to be more and more angry and peed off at you. So yeah, don't use that phrase. I completely understand how you feel, because you might honestly not. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Mine is, you probably don't want to. Because that phrase can go hand in hand with, well, you probably don't want to, but you need to do X, Y, and Z. Or well, I need you to do this by tomorrow, but I know you probably don't want to. Basically, it puts you in a position where it looks like trying to find the best way to say this. Basically, almost as if you're talking to the client as if they're uncooperative and that they actually don't cooperate with I guess you can say, the other side of the actual client interaction. Perfect example of that is if you know for a fact that something's going to work best for a client and you present that to them and then you say to them, well, you probably don't want to, but we need to post this on this day and this day and this day. Well, you're probably not going to want to, but we might need to schedule this day and touch base on this day. You don't want to put those all at the same time. You probably don't want to do that.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. Okay, so my number 10 and last one is the phrase "sorry to bother you," and I've seen quite a few emails that start that way. Sorry to bother you, and it might sound like it's something polite or you're being considerate of your client's time, but again, I think it undermines your credibility. And I mean, it is in your client's best interest really to cooperate with you and, get you documents or information that you need to complete their project. So, anytime that you're sending a business email and it's a legitimate, question or items or actionable items that you need, then you don't need to absolutely at all start with "sorry to bother you." Just,
Right.
get straight to the point.
No, exactly. And especially, for the most part, if you're working with them, if they've hired you, there's no reason you're not bothering them. If you're bothering them, they'll tell you that like, hey, slow down. But in our case, there's never been that case of, hey, you're talking to us too much. That's not the case. Maybe in the foreseeable future, like we message them every single day, they may say that, but for the most part, they're just happy that you've at least communicated something to them. Like, hey, I at least know what's going on. I'm not wondering.
That word "sorry" actually has a horrible annotation to it, like adoptive emotion to it. Like it's almost saying sorry is almost like admission to guilt of some sort, and it actually changes the demeanor of your whole entire conversation, whether it be verbal or written. So you don't ever want to say "I'm sorry" or "sorry." Somebody said that to me a long time ago, and since then I've always tried to change my sorry to "I apologize." Mm-hmm. So "sorry to bother you" is something that I try my best not to put in any phrase, especially email.
Very good. All right, number 11, and my final one is "you should." This is, it can be dangerous if you use it in the very beginning. Like, you should make sure that you get these pictures to me, or you should post this video. You should reply to me more often. Those ones kind of take an authoritative role in the sense of like, I'm your boss. Instead, really, like as a company, they're your boss, really. So you're answering their questions, and the "you should" part really just sounds, authoritative in that sense. So just kind of avoid that one at all costs.
That's super assertive. Like, you should do this. You should do that. Yeah, you definitely. I don't think I've ever used that in an email. Well, I take that back. I think I might have, but I think at that point I think I did mean it to be that way, not by accident. All right, so I guess the last one, and my final one, and the last one on the list is. So the thing is, you know what? That just leads them to think that there's something wrong versus the number one on the list, which is the problem is it's not as bad as so the thing is, because the problem is, quote unquote, is like immediate admission to that there is an issue versus so the thing is one of those phrases that leads the client to think that there's something extremely big wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And also, no matter how detailed you are in that email, so the thing is already puts that person in a mood to where they're already expecting the worst.
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely don't want to leave something like that to their imagination, because it might actually lead to a abrupt and unfiltered email reply, and also, I guess you can say, misinterpretation of text, because it happens all the time in the text message. So you definitely know and understand that it happens in email. So I would definitely try your best to take "so the thing is" out of your email vocabulary, period.
Yeah. I feel like it's just more layman's talk anyway. It's not really professional at all anyway.
No, it's not.
All right. Does anyone have any bonus ones they had up their sleeve? It is...
Nothing.
No. Okay. Nope. Nothing on Franklin's either. Well, all right. This was a quick, to the point. These are short phrases, but they are very important. This could cost you a job or not. Could be the difference in your company being successful or not. So take these phrases. They're really easy to comprehend. We hope this show was beneficial for you. And I think that's it. But again, guys, my name was Aaron.
My name is Christian.
And my name is Franklin.
All right, and we will see you this Friday for our last episode of 2016. No, actually, maybe, I don't know. We haven't talked about that. We may do the next Tuesday, but one of our last episodes for 2016. We'll have to figure that out. But we'll see you guys Friday, and we'll tell you for sure on that one. So see you guys next time.